And you can see these pieces have already got a glaze to them, so they're done. A few of my buddies came up and they want to do some smoked fish. And so I'm making them get their own wood. Alright, let's go skin them. A dry knife would be ideal, but I don't have one. So I use one of my older knives that I don't use for much anything else. So I just start comes off a lot better in the springtime. We're in August now. Okay, here's my smoker. Not a lot to it, but 20-inch piece of steel piling. You know, some holes cut in the bottom, and then I cover it up with that plate up there so you can kind of smother the fire and the flames don't come up and scorch whatever you're trying to smoke. But I'm gonna get a fire going in here. Once it gets going good, I'll load that whole box up, cover it up with the steel, and I'll lay my racks in here and put all my fish in here. And then after my fish is somewhat smoked, I'll move it up and then throw in my moose jerky on the bottom. I just don't want to put the moose jerky on the bottom right now because the drippings off of the fish will mess with the flavor and contaminate my jerky. So okay guys, you want to put it in here so they're not touching. You want to be able to let the heat go by, and so you don't want them touching. Get them close so you can get quite a bit of meat on the rack, but you do not want them touching. They don't smoke thoroughly and they don't cook evenly. So we're just laying them all skinned down. This would also be the time that you would want to, if you're wanting to put any black pepper flakes or red pepper or peppercorn or any kind of other seasoning, this would be the time that I would put it on. That way you can evenly coat it. It still has time to flavor the meat, because I'm going to let this sit for as long as it doesn't rain. I'm going to leave the doors open. It's kind of nice this time of year. We don't have flies winter time or any bugs flying around. But I'm going to let this sit and kind of glaze up and dry off. I might get one of my fans out here and hang it and let it glaze, and then I'll start the fire. But got a partial tote. Now I'm gonna go get the rest of it. Alright guys, I'm using alder. You can use hickory. Some people use applewood, birch, but I'm using alder because it's really available here. It does a really good job smoking, but you don't want it looking like this. This has got all the bark on it, and we've skinned all of these and got all the bark off of them, and I'm just getting the fire started with smaller chunks.
Too big?
Nope, you're gonna want it smaller. Some of it's
Smaller,
some of it's smaller, some of it bigger. Because once you get the fire going, then you're gonna want to load up a little bigger chunks, and it'll smolder a little longer. If you make them really small, all of it small, then it'll burn too hot and too fast, and it'll overcook your fish really quick. You want it to smoke and smolder. Once this fire gets going good, I'm gonna load it up with some really big chunks, throw that plate over it, and try to smolder it a little bit. It'll still have lots of heat and build good coals. But I want lots of smoke and get all this fish and this octopus all done. Alright, that's it. We're gonna let this get built up, get some heat going in there, making sure we got a good bit of coals. I'm gonna pull that plate over there and put my last rack in the bottom. And in 2 hours or so, hour and a half, 2 hours, I'm gonna check it. Okay guys, here's a little more than 3 hours, about 3.5 hours. And you can see these pieces have already got a glaze to them, so they're done. You don't want to get them too dry. We're not trying to make jerky. If I'd had a little more time, I'd have taken a brush and put a little olive oil or some kind of vegetable oil on the racks and they wouldn't stick like they are right now. But these ones and this whole corner are all done. You can see where they're cooking out the protein. Once they start cooking out the protein, the white milkiness, as long as they've got a good glaze on them, I'll pull them. But if they have a lot of milkiness, then I let them stand just a little bit longer and they get a nice golden glaze on them like this one. But that's what you're looking for. And I'm gonna go through this rack. I'm gonna pull everything that's done off of it. I'll rotate it, and because all the heat's coming to one side for some reason. But I'll rotate it so they get cooked evenly. All right, that's the smoked fish. We're just taking them off and putting them in trays, and then I'm going to vacuum seal them, and I'll be ready for snacks. Pack and go. So,
It's easier than napping.
I got these guys.
It's as easy as it looks.
This is all part about getting your meat, know where it comes from, enjoying it, sharing it with friends and family.
Hell yeah.
So these guys will take home this fish and they'll be able to share it
With our family.
and yeah,
They're gonna know the love of John Rodriguez. And I don't like this guy, but John Rodriguez is great.
know where your meat comes from.
All right.